Guys, Michael Fights with Friends here. So as everybody knows, Colby Covington beat Rafael Dos Anjos for the interim strap at UFC 225 in Chicago. And since then, he has been absolutely relentless in his verbal barrage at Tyron Woodley. And Tyron Woodley, for a long time, was ignoring him. And now he's gotten under the skin to the point that I didn't know Tyron Woodley was capable of saying these kinds of things. I believe that Tyron Woodley legitimately hates Colby Covington. And I don't want to ruin everything that was said in the build-up to this fight just in the last few days, just in this since this last Saturday. But I'm going to play some of these clips, and then I'm going to talk about what I think about him, and I want to know what you guys think about him. So Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington both fought an American Top Team. They trained together. Tyron Woodley brought in Colby Covington to help him train for certain fights. They both have absolutely dramatically opposite memories of what happened in training and in camp. Here's a little bit of an interview Colby Covington on MMA and Tangs when they talked to him about Tyron Woodley before his RDA fight. This is the Monday before UFC 225, where he fought Rafael Dos Anjos and won the interim title.
After this fight versus RDA, Woodley, you have your eyes on Woodley. And what type of fight could you bring to Woodley where it's a wrestler versus wrestler? We really haven't seen that yet with you, where you've had a tough wrestler as much as Woodley is. So give us how that fight could possibly play out.
And you said you sparred with him, right?
Yeah, we spar all the time. Same thing that would happen in sparring. He'll break. He'll quit in that octagon. He's got no endurance. He likes to back up in fights and throw. He's got one UFC record in history, and that's for least significant strikes in a fight. So, Woodley, he's human NyQuil. That's why I call him TyQuil. So no one wants to see him fight. I'm going to put him in a fight. He just backs up. He wants to throw a right hand. That's not going to happen against me.
So first, Tyron Woodley didn't want to address anything Colby was saying at all. He says, I whooped this guy's ass in sparring, but I don't really want to talk about him. He actually told reporters in interviews not to mention Colby Covington's name. He blocked him on social media, and I understand some of these things because this guy was saying a lot of things, to get under people's skins, and it was obvious it was to get under people's skin. It was shit talking for the point of shit talking, and he wasn't at Conor's level yet. He hadn't added much to his game. His shit talking was basic, and it was a lot of low blows, and it was against a lot of people that it looks like it really helped him in his career. But eventually Tyron Woodley had enough, and this was sort of the start of it, some of the beginning of this short clip from a TMZ video.
Okay.
And after I beat your ass, I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to talk shit to you. I'm going to talk to your coaches. I'm going to say, just walk away because you can't do shit for him. He's going to take this ass with him.
So since Colby Covington started talking all this smack and Tyron Woodley finally started responding to it, it had been a while since they'd actually seen each other face to face. I think even though they both trained with American Top Team, they'd not been spending time together. There was no love lost between them, obviously. The closest they've came to being face to face was 6 days ago on the MMA Hour, Ariel Helwani's last show, where Ariel Helwani had Colby Covington on first, and then Tyron Woodley on for the action, and Ariel Helwani wasted no time fanning the flames. Now, I know Colby Covington's pretty new to this whole media thing, as he just found out about shit talking, and he does have some skills. He showed that against Rafael Dos Anjos. This is maybe one of his first big interviews on MMA Hour. It happened to be Ariel Helwani's last show on the most popular, probably most important MMA show in the history of the UFC and in MMA. So I just found his entrance pretty pretty hilarious, to be honest.
Colby, are you there? There he is. Colby, I see your mouth.
What's up, Helwani?
Push that thing up. I want to see your whole face. Push it up. The camera.
Oh, the camera?
Yes.
I just want you to know, man, this full shiny belt is so nice, man.
I see it. It's beautiful. What is it like? Is this surreal?
Oh, it's everything I envisioned. You know, I'm living the American dream, Helwani.
Then he would continue to get into, if you're a Colby Covington fan, I guess what you would call his goals of what he plans on doing to Tyron Woodley and his ambitions as a UFC fighter. If you're a Tyron Woodley fan, you would most likely call him delusional.
Before I let you go, Colby, and again, thanks for doing this. As I know you're heading out soon. Tyron is coming up in an hour. Anything you'd like to say to Tyron Woodley?
You know, Ty Quill, there's nowhere else to run, nowhere else to hide. What you gonna do now? You know, no more rap albums. I know all the people hate me, but if you really want to hate me, go look on Google, try and listen to this dude rap. You know, that's why he's trying to come fight. That's why he's begging to fight me now, because his rap album's failing. He's got baby mamas to pay. That dude's a joke, man. His B-list acting career that goes straight to DVD. It is no more. Don't worry, Ty Quill. I'm sending you to sleep for good, motherfucker.
Thank you, Colby. Appreciate it. Congratulations. And good luck getting that meeting with President Trump.
Well, Ariel's been known as one of the best interviewers in the game, but he's also been known as a shit starter, somebody that can really rile people up and rile up a feud. And if there wasn't a huge feud between Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington before this, after Ariel Helwani got done with talking to Tyron, and after Colby got done what he just said, what you just seen him say, you can see that there is absolute fire in Tyron Woodley's eyes, and I expect to see the most motivated Tyron Woodley we've probably ever seen. Well, as great an interviewer as Ariel Helwani is, he's definitely known as an instigator. And if he was trying to instigate something between Colby and Tyron Woodley that wasn't there already, or to try to rile up Tyron Woodley, he did a pretty damn good job of it, and Colby did a pretty damn good job of him.
What did Kyra Queefington have to say? Because I know he was on her already. Let's get right to the point.
Okay, all right. Well,
you, brother.
Yeah.
Kisses, but let's get to the meat.
Well, I mean, he just said, you know, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You're the human NyQuil, right? That's the real belt.
Yeah.
RDA's tougher than you. This is the easier fight now. Oh, he also said that he beat you up in sparring. There were times where, like, you wanted out. It was always very one-sided in sparring. So he's looking forward to doing what he did behind closed doors.
Okay.
That's a
when
little.
We purchase this So when can we purchase this fiction film? When does it come out? Let me know when it drops. Because
go ahead.
What I've done is, and you know this, because a lot of people have asked me to comment on Colby. One thing that Colby is really underestimating, that I will leak these text messages of him. I'm his big brother, and I will always his biggest big brother, and he's the one that. Oh, I need help with marketing, man. And, you know, I need to get sponsors and I need to get in the UFC. He was brought in to training camp to help me train for Roy McDonald. And I've never met a more lazier piece of shit than Colby Covington, a more horrible human being than Colby Covington. When it was time to wrestle, ask him how many takedowns he actually scored on me. 0. Ask him why he turned blue like a fucking blueberry when I was choking him out and he refused to tap. So he is an asshole training partner. He's a horrible human being. Nothing that he's saying is factual. And I called him. And I said, hey, I know you feel like you got to do this. This is the path that Conor McGregor made. And you think this is what you got to do, but you're really making yourself look bad. I said, I gave you your one little hit on Fox when I was on air. And that's all. I said, so you can say whatever you want, and I'm not going to respond to it if that's what you feel like you need. He said, oh, man, I'm just trying to make money for both of us, man. You know, we'll both eat at the end of the day, light at the tunnel.
So I hate to, like, when somebody's doing a good job like Connor or Chael, I hate to unveil them. But when you got John Harnett of American Top Team scripting and writing your stuff, and when 99% of your social media is my face, you need to check your man visa because you done lost all points. Not only has he never taken me down, Ariel, he's never won a millisecond of a round. He's never, I can't even imagine if he won an exchange of combinations. He ran from me the entire training camp. He went home early, saying his toe was hurting. And when it was time to really wrestle, he had my striking partner, Taylor Crawl, who myself, Thiago Alves, we all use him because he's a phenomenal striker. He was in there with a broken wrist wrestling me while Colby was sitting in the weight room acting like he didn't know what was going on. So the fact that he would even bring that up, I'm going to whoop his ass so bad. I've never wanted to hurt somebody in my life. I've never wanted to beat somebody up so bad.
So now we're starting to get an idea of what Tyron Woodley thinks of Colby Covington as a sparring partner, and maybe quite how helpful he was, and how they have totally polar opposite views of what happened. And not to be biased, but from what I've heard from many other people that train at Top Team, most of their recollection of how things happen and how things have happened there were much closer to Tyron Woodley's version of the story than Colby Covington. But if you thought Tyron Woodley had gotten upset yet, you hadn't even seen close to the beginning of this vengeance. And I'm already really wanting to see this fight now. I don't know how excited about I was to begin with. As far as skill sets, it's like, okay, it's a wrestler versus wrestler. Tyron's probably a better striker. Colby's got great cardio. He might have better cardio. He's definitely, they both have great perseverance. They're both athletic. They're both good fighters. But what makes us want to watch a fight is the kind of fire that Tyron Woodley spits next.
Because in the past, you've not wanted to address him. You didn't think he was on your level. You're on board now?
This is the thing. He's not on my level. He never will be on my level. But now he's to the point where it's almost like my duty as a martial artist to fuck him up. It's almost my job as a martial artist for whatever I stand for. I talked to Dan Lambert today. I said, after I whoop his ass, I want him off the team. He's a disgrace to American Top Team, the tradition that it was rooted in. He's a disgrace to the sport, and he's a mockery to the toughest and the best division in the UFC's history, which is the welterweight division, and he's a disgrace to it. It's not like he's just going out there and just saying something he believes. He's staging and premeditating very controversial, very racial, very socially insensitive statements, and he can't back it up. He's talked himself into a fight with me. The problem is when they lock this octagon, I'm going to unleash an ass whooping on him that nobody has ever experienced. And he can't run. He can't outstrike me. He can't out-wrestle me. And anybody can get in shape, brother. You think cardio going to beat me? Let me see you put your chin on the treadmill. Put your chin. Let me see the cardio of your chin because he hasn't been hit like I'm going to hit him. RDA don't possess that power. And he didn't fight Usman because his toe was hurting, but he was trying to fight me. He's ran from the matchups that give him problems. Of course you want to fight me because guess what? Win, lose, or draw, you make an extra 200 grand, you fight for a world title, you can always say, well, I lost in the world title. He's okay with that, saying that he lost. He knows he's not going to win this fight. My toughest challenge in this fight is to mentally stay the competitor that I am, to stay to the game plan and not allow my bitter hatred for him take me out from competing and go to wanting to just fight him.
By the way,
So I got to say, by this time, I was really starting to get excited about watching this match. Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley. All the hype that's coming with it. I mean, there's one thing watching a fight for stylistic reasons. Striker versus grappler. Who's the better striker? Knockout artist, whatever that. When there's genuine beef between two fighters, though, that's when we really get into this as fans. This is fighting. This is not just a sport. This is entertainment. This is beef. This is drama. This is personal. And this is getting very personal. And this actually started to turn a little dark. And Ariel Helwani, you could see, was really enjoying it. And I got to admit, I was enjoying it myself.
Number one contender needed to truly emerge. There wasn't a clear one there. So by him beating RDA and beating Damian Maia and winning the Boo Boo belt, he does, to me, has emerged worthy to get this ass whooping he's going to take. And I'm not going to make it fast. It's not going to be in the first round. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to embarrass him. And I'm going to do it the entire fight. And the referee get close, I'm going to say, move back, brother. I'll tell you when to step in and stop this fight. Don't fucking come in here and save his life. Let him take this fade. Let him take this L. Let him take this ass whooping because I don't want him to ever fight again. Like, I wouldn't care if he didn't make it out the octagon. And I'm dead ass serious about that. So
Does it make
I'm
your
all
screen?
in for the fight.
Say what you want about Colby Covington. Say what you want about what Tyron Woodley said. If you think he went over the edge talking about a fighter not making it out of the cage, Ariel Helwani throwing the flames on the fire. The UFC has 500 to 700 fighters on their roster now at any time. There's no way they can promote them all. And in my mind, they don't do a good job of promoting the ones that they have. Very, very few fighters get adequate promotion. Dana White seems to be these days spread so thin that there's no Conor now. He was doing the Francis Ngannou thing before. I'm not sure who he's promoting right now. He's doing the Dana White Contender Series. He's traveling from this event to that event. Too many events. This guy's equilibrium's got to be just completely whack. And he could be losing his mind. And I'll go into that a little bit in another video about some things that Ally Aquinta had to say about Dana White. But I like this. Like I said, this is real beef. This is real fighting controversy. This is why we watch this. This is in our blood. You know, this is what our fists are for. It's not just your fist. Sometimes it's your mouth, and you got to have a genuine interest for the public and the hardcore fan. And that's what this is creating. I'm getting more excited about this fight. I want to know more about what you think. Are you getting excited about this fight? One thing I would say from this, Tyron Woodley can hate Colby Covington all he wants. And totally justified. You could say it's totally justified. But at the end of the day, he's going to get the biggest payday he's ever gotten by far. By far. If they promote this correctly, if they promote this a tenth of what they did Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, and they're giving them the sound bites. Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington, they're giving them the sound bites. They're making the promotion for them. All the UFC has to do is a little bit of what I just did and just splice it together with a little commentary from, Joe Rogan or John Anik or Michael Bisping. So, but I am curious what you guys think. Don't forget, tomorrow I'll be streaming Dana White's Contender Series, 5 p.m. Pacific. I can't change the time, so if you're not home from work, sorry. But, as always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses later.
About it, the RDA would definitely melt soy boy, Hollywood boy, Tyron Woodley. Don't fucking come in here and save his life. Let him take this fade. Let him take this L. Let him take this ass whooping because I don't want him to ever fight again. Like, I wouldn't care if he didn't make it out the octagon.